not every day can be perfect, unless you're me. Hello, my beautiful skating peoples. It's me, Asher Hill, bringing you our final recap of this season. Spring has sprung in Saitama, Japan, and we know this because some of Canada's athletes took time out of their busy competition schedule to bask in the beauty of Sakura season. That's cherry blossom in Japanese, if you didn't know. And I definitely have to go to Japan for my cherry blossom photos because when I go to Hyde Park in Toronto, it's impossible not to get 30 people in the shot. Anyway, Japan almost sweeps the entire event, winning 3 out of 4 disciplines on home soil. Keegan sings his swan song as we bid him a farewell. And Canada picks up a bronze medal in the dance event. Let's get into it. Let's kick it off with the pairs. Taking that gold medal, Riku Mura and Ruichi Kihara make them the first Japanese team to win a pair title. Adding a silver to their world gold are USA's Alexa Knierim and Brandon Fraser, and Italy's Sarah Conti and Niccolò Macci take bronze, the first ever medal in this event for their country. Our gold medalists, that's right, everyone's fave pair team, Riku Mura and Ruichi Kihara, do it. They started their run for gold with a stellar and emotional Elvis short program. I still have chills. They are looking good as we head to the free program. Opening up with the first 3 elements, a triple twist, side by side, triple toe, double axel, and a level 4 lasso lift are yen, yen, yen. They start to hit some headwinds though with their next side by side element. Riku doubles the sow, but back on track with a beautiful throw triple lutz. Everything is looking so good as they head into their last throw triple loop. And Riku tries to hang on but goes down. They end the program and Riku is visibly upset by the mistakes she's made and is clearly worried that this has cost them the gold medal. It is usually all smiles with them, but not every day can be perfect, unless you're me. I joke, but the reactions when they get their score is a full release of every emotion you can think of. She's crying, he's crying, Bruno's crying, I'm weeping. Oh my gosh. It may not be the idyllic win they wanted, but their coach Bruno Marcotte said after their win, they do not have to be perfect to be good. Kind of like pizza. Let's head on to the former world champions and now world silver medalists, Alexa Knierim and Brendan Fraser. They came into this competition with very heavy hearts, as their coaches Todd and Jenny Sand were not with them in Japan, as Todd suffered a heart attack while at the Junior World Championships in Calgary earlier this month. He is still recovering, and their choreographer Shaylin Bourne stepped into that role to help them. 2 gorgeous throws, a massive triple twist, and effortless lifts all garner them positive GOEs. It's good enough for a 142.84, only 2 points below their personal best, and they actually win the free program. So they come away with a small gold medal. They may not have defended their title, but they definitely proved they are champions and made their coaches back home proud, I'm sure. Last but not least, taking the bronze and Italy's first ever pair medal, Sarah Conti and Niccolò Macci. At their first World Championship. What a year for this new and improved team. Let's talk about the Canadian contingent here at Worlds. All the Canadian teams made their world debut here and all hit personal best scores. Let's start with our top finishers. Deanna Stiletto-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps knew they were medal contenders coming in, but it was not to be this time. They laid down 2 very well done programs with a PB in the free despite 2 mistakes on their side-by-side jumps. They have been very vocal about their goal being the 2026 Olympics, so definitely more to come from this team. Trent Michaud and Leah Pereira, flabbergasted. They have only been together 7 months and finished 6th in their world's debut with personal best in their short and free program. Y'all better look out now. Last but not least, Brooke McIntosh and Benjamin Mimar round out this strong pair contingent from Canada. They end their Grand Prix medal season and world debut in 11th with 2 strong skates and PBs in both segments. Canada is looking strong in this field, and because these teams showed up and showed out, Canada will keep its 3 spots for Worlds next year in Montreal. Très joli, Canada, très joli. Let's head on to the men. King of the world yet again, taking gold, Shoma Uno becomes the first Japanese man to win Worlds back-to-back. Silver goes to Junwan Cha, winning Korea's first ever medal in the men's event, and bronze is claimed by the young American quad god himself, Ilya Malinin. My favorite for gold delivers and defends his world championship title. The showman may have won both segments of the competition, but it was not easy, as he would skate to victory on an injured ankle. According to his coach Stefan Lambiel, he twisted his ankle twice last week and yet another time during the event. He opens his refined classical free program with a fine quad loop that picks him up over 14 points, plus a quad toe and 2 triple axels with 1 in sequence late in the program. All level 4 elements are secured and all pick him up big points with positive GOEs. 2 mistakes on the quad sow and the quad toe combo means that they gotta take some of those points back though. It won't hurt him too much as he wins the free and defends his world title. Junwan! Yes! I know that you, if you're a skating fan, are super excited to see this man on the podium. Junwan Cha becomes the first Korean medalist in the men's event. The free program was highlighted by 2 amazing quads, some of the best I've ever seen him do, full levels on gorgeous spins, and an emotional choreo sequence with that iconic outside in a bower that we all gag for. He was so good that he was only 12 points from winning the free and knocks Ilya Malinin down to 3rd for that sweet silver medal. Now on to the quad god. He had the skating world gagged this year by landing the first quad axel, the hardest jump in figure skating. So obviously this made him a favorite to win these championships. He opens his Euphoria free program with that quad axel, and he hangs on for the first ever quad axel landed at a world championship. History is clearly his favorite subject. He attempts 5 more quads, is successful on 4, but unclean landings result in some deductions. His quad-rich program, however, allows him to win the technical element score, but is 11th in the program component score. 188 in the free will drop him to 3rd overall. And in the post-event press conference, Ilya spoke about some lessons he learned moving forward. Maybe lowering the risk level on these free programs will allow him to focus on his program component score, something that is hurting him that he will definitely need in the future if he wants to be that all-around skater that can be untouchable. And on to the Canadians, starting with Keegan Messing. Hitting a PB in a short program, it was accompanied by unparalleled energy and a standing ovation from the audience. It was a perfect start to his swan song. The free program was less idyllic when it came to the tech. He popped his first triple axel and almost fell on his flying sit spin, receiving a 0 for that incomplete element. But the emotional connection he and we all felt was palpable. Ends his competitive career with a 7th place finish at Worlds, 2 kids, and all of the memories. Thank you so much for everything, Keegs. And the second Canadian man, Conrad Orzel, finishes in 26th and does not qualify for the free program. But he had some trouble, had to get new skates before leaving for Japan, and his skate broke in Japan during practice. A rough world debut, but we will be seeing more from the young Canadian. All right, let's get into the women. For this part of the recap, I am joined by a special guest. She is the bronze medal winner at the 2022 Edna Trophy and the reigning bronze medalist for Canada. Please welcome Fiona Bombardier. Hey Fiona, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. How's your day been? And you've just ended your season. So what's next season looking like for you? Have you started new programs? And then, of course, tell us what your favorite moment was about these World Championships, especially in the women's event.
So as of now, I've had a little bit of a setback, so I haven't started my programs yet. I just suffered from a concussion. But it's been a couple weeks now, feeling a lot better. We'll start new programs soon, very excited. So I'm gonna have a new short program this season. One of my favorite moments from the World Championships was probably Leona's short program. I loved her dress, the costume. It was so bright in colors. I think it was hot pink and orange, and that was very eye-catching to me. Her music, it was so much fun to watch, and I couldn't stop watching it. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss that program. It was fire. Not the best performance for that short program here, but still, Leona is such a dynamic skater. So let's get into the podium. Taking the gold, Queen Kaori Sakamoto does it, and she defends her world title. Silver goes to Hyein Lee of Korea as she dazzles us, and bronze goes to Luna Hendricks of Belgium, picking up her second world medal in 2 seasons. So let's talk Kaori Sakamoto. She does it. She defends her world title. She's always skating to these female empowerment programs like her free program last year. And the free program to Elastic Heart by Sia was no different. And actually a pretty good skate here. If you look on paper, all positive GOEs, but it was a bit of a nightmare skate for her because last time Worlds was in Saitama in 2019, she made the same mistake that took her from 2nd to 5th place and what should have been her first world medal. So obviously very disappointed, grabbing her head as she's leaving the ice, tears are filling her eyes. So Fiona, I ask you, sometimes we can get really fixated on a mistake that we've made before, even though we've done it 100 times in competition. So have you ever had those moments where you're focused on that mistake and then it becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy?
For sure. I think we've all had these kind of moments. For example, at Nationals, I made that first mistake on my double axel and I was skating clean throughout the whole solo. And then, of course, on my second double axel, that's all I could think about. And I made the same exact mistake. So for Kaori, she was probably not thinking about the right things going into the flip and probably thinking about that past Worlds, which indeed made her make that mistake. She recovered really well, though.
She absolutely did. And in the Kiss and Cry interview, she was totally thinking about that moment in something that should have been a redemptive skate. But her eyes, again, filled with tears, this time from relief, knowing that she has secured her gold medal.
It was very emotional to watch, actually. Her coming off the ice thinking she had just lost her gold medal because of that little mistake. Well, not little, but because of that mistake, it was really sad. But I think as us as viewers, we knew she would still be okay because we saw the rest and it was wonderful.
Let's head on to our silver medalist, Hyein Lee of Korea, the first woman to medal at Worlds since Yoona Kim 10 years ago in 2013. Hyein came into this competition with a very slow start to the season, but finally picked it up and won 4 continents this year. And then she dazzled with 2 stunning clean programs, just like the rest of the world, and most Korean skaters. I'm sure she was influenced by Yoona Kim, the one who won a medal before her 10 years ago. So Fiona, are there any women today in skating that you look up to and want to emulate in your own skating style?
There's for sure women that I look up to. One of them is Joanie Rochette. She was so powerful in her skating, and I just loved how elegant she was and the strength that she portrayed throughout all her programs. Another skater that I would probably look up to is Kaori, just because of the speed that she has and the determination is incredible. And yeah, I just love watching her programs.
Let's head into our bronze medalist, your favorite short program, Luna Hendricks. It wasn't a clean event for her, falls in both programs, but the jostling between Mai Mihara and the other Korean skaters and Isabel Levito enabled her to still finish third overall, even though she finished fifth and fourth in the short and free program.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a bit of a trend going on in that last group. There was one mistake on the jumps. Most of them were lutzes except for Kaori, which was a flip. But yeah, because of that one mistake that everyone kind of made, it made Leona's mistake not as bad.
Yeah, for sure. So we already talked about her, so let's go on to the Canadian women, or Canadian woman, I should say, as the lone woman here was Madeline Schizis of Milton, Ontario. The short program, which has been pretty solid for her this year, kind of let her down with a fall on the triple lutz combo, but she came back with the free program, and it's looking a little different than previously in the season. She went back to her Madame Butterfly program, something that served her well at the Olympic Games last season. And she came out here and nailed a clean program, something she's been searching for all season. So first of all, what do you think of Madeline's decision to go back to an older program? And have you ever had to go back to a program?
Personally, I have not had to do that yet. But I think for Maddie, it was a great decision. She has some really good memories with this program, and I think it must have been like a breath of fresh air going back to that, considering how this long program that she had, the West Side Story, did not serve her the way she would have wanted to. And then at Worlds, the best time to do it, the biggest competition of the year, she puts out a clean skate for everyone to enjoy.
And unfortunately, with that 13th place finish, Canada will keep its singular spot for the women's event heading into Montreal Worlds next year. That's it. Thank you so much, Fiona, for your wonderful insights. You're so well spoken, and you clearly have a lot going for you. I can't wait to see what you do. I hope you heal well, and good luck for the next season.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Let's chasse onto the dance. For this recap, I am joined by the 2022 Junior Grand Prix Final champions and two-time Junior Worlds bronze medalists, Nadia Bashinska and Peter Beaumont. Thank you two for joining me today. How are you?
Very good. Very, very good.
Yes, we're enjoying our break from a long season, and yeah, we're thinking about having our break.
Let's get it started with our podium. In first place from the United States of America, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates finally claim their world title. In second place, we have Italy's Charline Guinard and Marco Fabri, after 13 years finally breaking onto that podium. And rounding out with the bronze, we have Canadians Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier, who overcame a mid-season disruption to win their second world bronze medal. So let's get started with our brand new world champions, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. It's their 10th world championship, 3 podium finishes later at Worlds, and they finally make their dreams come true with this gold medal performance. Now, it was a slow start to the season for them, this program not giving them the impact or the results that they wanted. Some people even telling them to change the program, but they went back home and kept working at it, and then came at 4 continents with the gold, and now here at Worlds, making a breathtaking rendition of this fire and air program until there was a little oopsies after the spin. So tell us what you thought of Madison Chalk and Evan Bates' performance.
I've always been enchanted with their programs and their choice of programs. They've always had the most surprising and interesting, ideas. And this year was as well, like, it was very, very interesting. And it progressed, as you said, it progressed from the first competition to Worlds. And I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah, I'd say Maddie and Evan, they always put out a performance that they have their own feeling to. So where it be from the short dance to the free, well, they have big differences in character. They always put out 100%.
So let's go on to our silver medalists from Italy, Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabbri. Again, a team that's been at it for a while, over 13 years together, and finally breaking through for that silver medal at the World Championships. This is also a great season for them. They've won a medal at every event they've entered, a first for them, and PBs in both the rhythm and the free dance. For me, that free dance took a while for me to really get into, but I will say I just like Madison and Evan, it had to grow, and they again were another team where they were told to maybe change it, but I really admire, like you two, the tenacity of sticking towards a story that you wanted from the beginning.
Yeah, I honestly think you're so right on everything you said, but for them, it's almost like they found their right program for them. They've tried so many things over the years, and if you look back a couple of years, they've tried pretty much everything there's to do, and they finally found that works for them. And I think they connect with that program.
Yeah, it's been a long, as with most the top three teams, it's been a long road to reach a World's medal, and I think this was their time. They had really consistent skates all season, both in their short programs and free programs, rhythm dance and free dance. And to have that consistency, not only this season, but over the past seasons, that's really helped them with their status and delivering it at the World Championships with two programs that really suit them. That's been really beneficial for them this season.
For sure. Let's head on to the Canadians, the bronze medalists, two times bronze medalists, your teammates, Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier. They started off this season super duper strong and actually copying your record, undefeated until the Grand Prix final, and then third at Worlds. You guys also came third again at Junior Worlds. They approached the season with a very holistic approach, just enjoying every moment as they skate. So tell us what it's like training with Piper and Paul, being with them during this time where they had that break in momentum and had to heal to come back for Worlds. And has that outlook on your skating and career rubbed off on you in any way?
So training with Piper and Paul, every day it's a privilege. They come into the rink, there's always that positive energy, you know. Every time they skate, they're not robots at the end of the day. They don't come in, do their job, and then go home. They're always sociable. It's really a light environment. And that obviously affects us. It rubs off on us, and we try and take every training day as an opportunity. We don't come into the rink, you know, with the negative energy, just like, oh, I want to get today finished and done, and want to go home. We always take it as an opportunity to better ourselves, and it's just a great environment to be in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, from moving to Canada and going to Scarborough was my first ever club, and I think it's my forever club. And seeing Piper and Paul, I've never tried to compete with the teams my level. I've always aimed to compete with them, and I think that's what has driven. I'm a very competitive person, and I think I can say that for both of us.
I think we both are.
And
yeah,
so we definitely always watch what they do, watch how they practice, and it inspires us so much that even when there were no other teams in our club that we could kind of feel competitive with, they inspired us to train. And like Peter said, their positive attitude as well really taught us how to act at competitions as well.
One last question about them. You guys were at the Grand Prix final together, and you both won the Grand Prix final at the same time, both people from the same club. What did that feel like?
Amazing. I don't know, like there's not that many words to use to describe that feeling. Honestly, there's none. Maybe I don't know enough English to respond to that question, but in my, like from that competition, it just felt like a dream. Everything from the beginning to the end, being with them there. It was the first time ever, obviously, but seeing them win as well, I don't know, it's just so awesome. It was so happy for them and obviously happy for us as well.
Yeah, I can remember actually, before we'd even stepped foot in Italy, I remember saying to our coach, Carol, I was like, what are the chances that both Nadia and I and Paul Piper, end up on the podium? And she's like, oh,
well, that'd be good, right?
Don't think too soon. Carol's very realistic. She's like, don't try too hard.
Yeah.
And then for it to actually happen and become a reality, it was almost like a dream come true, obviously,
Jumping up and down.
Yeah,
actually
it's
indescribable. Yeah.
Such an incredible opportunity, great training mates to have, and then also to win beside. So let's head to our last ice dancers we're going to talk about, the Canadians, Laurence Fournier-Baudry and Nikolai Sorensen, who hit personal bests in their free and rhythm dance. A spectacular season for them as well, actually beating the world champions at one of their Grand Prix, and now top 5 here at Worlds. Canada gets to send 3 teams for the World Championships in Montreal next year. So when you see results like that and you are, going to the senior route and Worlds is eventually going to be on the horizon for you, what does it feel like to see Canada go out and get those spots so that as many teams can get to Worlds as possible?
We've always known Canadian ice dance as Tess and Scott, and that's amazing. But it almost overshadowed every other ice dancer there was. And now that they're getting their own spotlight, I'd say first of all, it's amazing to see how everybody has just bloomed over the past years. And Laurence and Nick, sorry, I always call her Lolo. So Laurence and Nick, their performances are amazing. And I obviously love both of them. Their connection on the ice is just amazing. It's actually like your blood rushes through your body when you watch them. And I think it's awesome that they're getting, spots for future seniors like us and the others. And that's what we did in junior.
Mm-hmm.
We also were at Worlds and we're like, we just want to get enough spots for other people so they get an opportunity to go and do what we did. So
yeah, I think going back to Nadia saying with Laurence and Nick, for them it's also been a long road to achieving success, and I take my hat off to them for sticking at it and ultimately finding programs that work. Their free dance this season I always watched with awe. It was one of those programs where you just didn't want it to end. And for them to come top 5 in the world, as well as Paul and Piper, for Canadian skating, that's amazing. It's keeping it known and in the talk and in the loop, so people don't forget about Canada as a skating country, but also as ice dance.
Ice dance, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And when you are the top of Canada, that could potentially mean you're the top of the world. So it's not a small feat to be a Canadian champion and then go to Worlds. Yeah, well, Nadia, Peter, why did I look at you? Nadia, Peter, thank you so much for joining me today, taking time out of your, well, it's not busy schedule. You're on a little bit of a downturn, but thank you regardless of making the time for me, speaking with me. It was such great insight, and I look forward to seeing your programs for next season.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. That's a wrap on the season, and that is our Worlds recap. Thank you to Fiona and Nadia and Peter for joining me. Such great moments at these World Championships. Too many to count, so let us know in the comment section below which ones were your fave. And we will see you next season. I know you loved that video. So subscribe so you don't miss anything, and watch more videos because you loved it so much.